everyone, it's Wax Weirdo here, and I have another Empties video for you. This is everything that I melted and everything that I burned, wax and candle-wise, for the month of June. My scent story was mostly citrus combos, which could include lime, orange, lemonades. I also did like sherbet in there, maybe some fizzy. I don't think a whole lot of those types like ginger ale and 7-Up. But I did do a lot of melon, a lot of watermelon and honeydew. And a little bit of cantaloupe. So that was the story. Let's just get right into the candles. This is a vanilla lime candle from Yankee. I'm trying to get through my Yankees. I am thinking I'm probably not going to repurchase anytime soon. I haven't repurchased it all this year, or purchased anything. But this is the vanilla lime. I remember, I want to say last year, a lot of people were raving about this, but I don't think it was a new scent, but maybe it was, I could be wrong. I want this slushy, by the way, it looks delicious. This was a good candle. The scent, the vanilla in it is beautiful. The lime in it is nice. It does pull a little bit into that cleanser realm. Lime is always hard. I'm always picky about it. It can pull kind of cleanser, deep cleanser, or kind of like a rind cleanser. And then also there's some that just have like an after smell that I don't like, that pulls kind of into, I want to say like a vinegar family. I can't explain it, it's very difficult. And then my favorite lime is like a lime sorbet or lime sherbet smell, and that's very few and far between that I get that. But in some vendor wax I do get that. But this was the kind of cleanser rind vibe, which was still nice. I want to say there's some vendor wax that's like this, just on the lime aspect. That's kind of called lime freeze or margarita. And it's really good, but it does have just, I mean, a hint, just a hint, a little cleansery and a lot of like rind zest. So the fragrance was nice. This was stronger at first when I was burning it, but it did kind of start to weaken out. So I moved it to the bathroom and it did better in there, but still a little disappointing. Yeah, I get better results from from other candles, sadly, but that's just how it goes. When was this pour date? 2017. So I'm not sure. But the actual performance of the burn itself was good. Never had a problem. That's what I like. I do trim the wicks pretty much every time that I light them. I just feel it's necessary or they get really mushroomy. I do use an Illumilid, and yeah, there you go. Okay, then I have this medium jar in juicy watermelon. And I loved this fragrance in the past. Love, love, love it. It's that Jolly Rancher, the watermelon Jolly Rancher. It's so good, just super candy. When was the pour on this one? 2018. And I remember it being a lot stronger though. So this one didn't do so well. I had it in the bedroom. I could kind of smell it sometimes. So I did move it to my upstairs bathroom where it did better. So again, Yankee's just kind of been disappointing me. I know these are older. I haven't melted any pours like from 19, definitely not anything from 20. To know if there is a difference in performance in that regard of strength and throw. But for the actual burn, of course, it was amazing. No problems there. Moving on, I have a large jar from Goose Creek. This is orange cream soda. And this one is so good on cold. I get such an orange soda-y, orange, and there's like that frothy vibe from the cream, like the ice cream in there. It's good. It did change a little bit though when it was burning, and it did kind of smell weaker than I thought it was going to be, but it was still a nice fragrance. I do have some wax melts in there, and so I'm hoping to try those probably next year if I feel like it sometime. And it's not in my scent story. I do still melt things not in my scent story if I feel like it, but it's rare. I did have to hot dump this towards the middle. I was getting that burnt wax smell, and it happens often with Goose Creek candles and me. I'm not sure why. I do burn them, you know, the amount of time that they're supposed to, the 3 to 4 hour mark. I don't go over, so I'm not sure. But I did hot dump it and that did help. As far as strength goes, it was okay. Like I said, it was weaker. I did have it upstairs in my bedroom and it did okay in there. I do have another one of these. I remember everybody raving about it, but I'm just kind of like, meh. It was okay. It did like burn itself out though. I mean, amazing. I've never had problems as far as these guys, you know, burning through for the performance. And I do trim those wicks every single time so you don't get that soot. And you can trim them pretty short and they do just fine because there's 2 wicks. The last candle I got through was from Bath & Body Works, and this is Citrus Crystals. Loved this one. The pour on here was from 2019. This is sugared orange slices, tangy lemon drops, and fizzy guava. I absolutely love this. I think I have like 2 more, thankfully. It smells like the old-fashioned orange hard candies. You know, the generic hard candies. I'll see if I can find them and put a picture in, that are oval shaped and have a little bit of a concave aspect to it in the middle. This is what that smelled like. The sweet, there's not like a citric acid quality in there. If you are familiar with making like hard candy and lollipops, to get that sour note, you put citric acid in it. And this is just like the hard candy without that. So if you remember those candies, this is exactly what this smells like. It's so good. Loved it. I didn't have any problems with the performance. I know it looks kind of gooky there at the bottom, but it was totally fine. No problems at all. Did so well. It had a good strength and throw I put it in my kitchen and I could smell it in the kitchen and I could smell it wafting into the living room area as well. Loved it. Let's move on to wax. Okay, so I melted the Danish Girl from Sassy Girl Aroma. This was hot orange Danish buttercream frosting marshmallow. And this was like a hot commodity when she first had this come out, I want to say like 2 years ago. I was able to find like half a loaf that was already chopped up in a D-stash, and so I snagged it, but I didn't get to melting it until this year. Go figure. But it was lovely. I loved the bakery note in here. So good. Just beautiful. There was like a creaminess and a bakeryness and a slight little orange marmalade type ness to it. It was good. And I do remember this being a little bit lighter, not super light. I mean, it's 2 years old, so it did really good. I would probably give about a 6, 6.5. Next up, it was this soda pop. It was really cute from Abbey Lane. This is an orange soda fizzy pop, and I loved this. It was so nice. The orange soda was, sorry, I just have this in here floating, was so beautiful. It was sweet. It had a tanginess. It wasn't super tart at all. The fizzy wasn't super duper fizzy like you would expect from vendor wax. It just kind of gave it a little bit over like a brighter sensation, kind of sweet tarts realm, just a hair. And with that orange, it was beautiful. So it wasn't super tart. It was just a little tangy and sweet. Loved it. I would definitely get this again. Okay. Next up, I have my Chihuahua Bites. This is from Salt Mountain. Oh my gosh, it was so good. This is Watermelon Jolly Rancher and Margarita. Loved it. And the name just cracks me up because I think of my little Eugene because he's a Chihuahua. So good. The Margarita is like lime freeze. In fact, it probably is the same oil. But, oh, with the watermelon, Mm. Oh, it's so good. It's like that lime slushy. Again, it pulls just a hint cleanser. Hint. I mean, I wouldn't even necessarily notice it as much, but I'm so picky about lime. But it is more zesty, has that rind aspect to it, but then also it does have like that slushy. It's so good. And then with the watermelon, beautiful. It was just so good together. There also are similar blends that she did, like Heat Wave that she did this year, which was, what was it, like strawberry, raspberry, guava, and margarita. And they're all similar because of that margarita in there. So good. If you can find any of her blends with the margarita, you'll love them. There's another one in my stash that we'll get to as well. I just can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. Okay, this is a stowaway from Raspberry Whipped Cream. This is from Maze that I think I just accidentally put into June's pile. This was so good. Her raspberry isn't necessarily what I would call raspberry. It's almost a little bit of a raspberry lime, if that makes sense. It's almost kind of like a tad cleansery, rindy, maybe a little bit more cleansery than like the margarita, let's say, for my Chihuahua Bites. And then the raspberry's in there too. It's just different. It's very sour, very tart. Let me smell it again. But very nice. There's almost a little bit of a feminine quality to it. This was good. I love the Scoopables so much. This is from L3 Waxy Wonders. Love it. They're so fun. Probably one of the strongest vendors to make Scoopables. This was like an 8. Perfect. Okay, then I did have a low from Teddy B's. This is It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere. And this is frozen lime margarita, champagne bubbles, and sweet lime. And it was nice. It pulled really cleansery for me, like super. Not the same margarita as Salt Mountain at all. Super duper cleanser. I did get a lot of champagne as well in there, and then the lime aspect, of course. So I enjoyed it. I just probably wouldn't repurchase this. Yeah, it was just super cleansery. It wasn't the cleanser lime that I like. It was full on cleanser. I think if I did have more of this, or if I was looking for fragrances for after smells of dinner to combat those, then this would actually be an excellent idea for those. But it was strong, mind you. It was like an 8, 8.5. And of course, I love cutting her wax so much. It's just perfect. You don't have to put it in the microwave. Okay, then I had some shapes in Wendy Girl. Definitely 2 years old, as you can see. Wendy Girl is pink lemonade, pound cake, watermelon, cotton candy. And this is from Rose Girls. This was delicious to die for. I wish I had more of this. So, so good. Pink lemonade is pretty rare in vendor wax. I haven't seen it as much. And this was so good. I loved it with the watermelon and the cotton candy. They just all worked so beautifully together. I haven't smelled anything like this from any other vendor. Pink lemonade is just so distinctive. If you were, I want to say, a 90s girl growing up and there was like tons of lip balms that were all about pink lemonade, and that is the smell you get, and add the deliciousness of these other notes. Loved it. Would definitely get more, and it was strong for being 2 years old. I'd give it like a 6.5, 7. Next up, I have Scoopables from Barrett's Wax Crafts. This is fresh watermelon, sweet honeydew, and sunny lemon. And it was almost a year old. And his are those cute little beady, very fine, like wax caviars, what I've heard other people mention them as. It was so fun to watch melt and to see. So cute. This was pretty good. It was heavy on the honeydew, so that's mostly what I got. And then I got a little bit of a citrus note and a little bit of watermelon. You have to like honeydew to like this, and a lot of people don't. I'm on the fence about honeydew, but I thought these other fragrances with it elevated it. So it was nice. I probably just wouldn't repurchase it because, again, honeydew is not my favorite, but I don't hate it either. But it was good and strong. I'd give it like a 7. Next up is some Salt Mountain, and this is Cotton Candy Limeade. This was cotton candy, lime freeze, and fizzy pop. This was darn good. I'm gonna smell it again. And it was definitely over a year old. Super delicious. The fizzy pop is such a strong oil. So this to me smelled like a sweeter version of fizzy pop. The lime freeze was there, but I couldn't detect it as much as like in my Chihuahua bites. But it was there. So it really just was more like a sweet fizzy pop. So good. So it wasn't as, you know, in your face as fizzy pop as the others, but loved it. Good stuff. I'd get this again for sure. And it was strong for being almost a year old, 7.5. Next up, we have some Gypsy Monroe. This is Fruity Fruit Salad, which is honeydew, satsuma, raspberry sorbet. Gypsy Monroe is no longer, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But, you know, it was a nice scent. Just kind of fruity vibes. I wouldn't purchase it again, though, if she was available. It just wasn't my favorite. Okay, then I have a bakery bag from Southbound. This is in Melonade, which I got in a D-stash. It's tart lemons, raspberries, and watermelon. Oh my gosh, I love Melonade so much. Definitely a top scent for me for the month. It's so good. It also reminds me of a job that I used to have working for an air freshener company. And this is what the warehouse would smell like. It was like every fragrance together. But oh gosh, this is so good. The lemons, the raspberries, the watermelon, it turns into something different. It's not, you don't pick out each fragrance. It just melds into something new and invigorating and refreshing and just darn right delicious. I love it. It is just so uplifting and beautiful. Yes, 1,000 times yes, I would get more of this in a heartbeat. Yum, and so strong too. Definitely in like the 7.5. Okay, I have another stowaway, which technically he isn't. This is just something I finished in June at the beginning. This is Mango Coconut Waffle Cone from Rose Girls, and oh, it's divine. My gosh, mango is so good. It doesn't smell like actual mango, but it is some fruity deliciousness, I tell you. The coconut is not too heavy in this at all. It just adds just a little bit of punch to it. Just kind of creamy, just more like a creamy aspect. And then the waffle cone is just beautiful. And I'm so picky about waffle cone as well. But this oil of waffle cone is just sensational together. Beautiful bakery and mango delish. It is about a 6.5. Okay, then I did have a new to me vendor. This is Rustic Rose Wax Company. And this was in lovely Limeade, which is strawberry sensation and lime. And on cold, this smelled really good, really bright, invigorating. Yeah, just super good. It just didn't perform for me how I'd like. It just was weaker, and I wish it just would have been a little bit stronger. It is 100% soy, and I'm not sure, maybe that 100% soy doesn't work so well in my house, but I'd give this maybe about a 3. Okay, and then I have a Scoopable. So cute. This is the first time I've ever had Scoopables like this. This is from Love for All Things Wax. This was in maraschino cherry, orange soda pop, and strawberry raspberry guava. Oh, man. This was delicious. Bright, tart, tangy, sweet. Almost like an orange fruit punch, if you will, with the cherry. So good. Such a cute design on top. Had like a little crab and some seashells, I think, if I remember. So fun. I love Scoopables. I know they're messy sometimes, but I don't mind it. It just kind of just changes it up for me. This was so good. I would definitely get it again, and it was super duper strong. 8.5. Strong puppy. Okay, next up we have some orange cream cupcake from With Envy. The shapes of these were so cute. They were these little dachshunds. So adorable. On cold sniff, this just smelled like a beautiful orange creamsicle type. When I was melting it, I started to notice though a little bit of an odd after smell to it. Almost sour, and not in a good sour. I don't mean like tart. I mean almost kind of like a sour sweat kind of smell. I know it's just kind of odd, just a little bit, not a whole lot, but enough that I wouldn't get orange cream cupcake anymore. But I did appreciate how cute these were. I just know maybe this oil isn't something that goes with my nose, but it was a good strength, like a 6. Next up, I had 3 scent shots from Bento. These are from 2017. This was watermelon and cucumber mint. I was hoping this would kind of sort of smell like the watermelon ice from Bath and Body Works that never came back. That candle, delicious. I know there wasn't mint in that candle though, but I'm not going to talk about a whole lot about this. I didn't actually care for this. The mint kind of made it weird for me. It took it to it was like not the right mint maybe, because it was kind of like a gum mint. I don't know. Okay, speaking of not liking things, this was new to me from Better Homes and Gardens. This is in Key Lime Cheesecake. I definitely had some high hopes, but no, there was no cheesecake. I was hoping maybe it would smell a little bit like even body care-ish. I would have liked, and it kind of did. It kind of brought me to the realm of Bath and Body Works Coconut Lime Verbena in body care. But which is weird is that I was getting kind of like a curry vibe. Let me smell this again. I still have, yeah, because I couldn't. Yeah, it's curry. Totally curry, like green curry. I don't know. Like lotion and curry. Okay, then I had some, I want to say these were shapes, right? Yeah. This is from Sugar Melts by Stacy. This is Summer Dream. The notes are, thank you, Valerie, strawberries, satsuma, and orange dreamsicle. Delicious. The strawberry is not really as noticeable, you know, or the creamsicle-ish, but it was definitely more satsuma. And satsuma can have a sharpness at the end. The after smell can be kind of sharp, maybe a tad bitter, but it had to have been the strawberry and the orange creamsicle that actually evened out that sharpness. But it was tangy, it was tart, a little bit of a sweet orange, and like a legit orange, not candy orange, and no cleanser or rind vibe either. It was delicious. I did like it very much, and it was super strong, and it lasted a long time. A 9. Okay, then some more Sugar Melts by Stacy. This is in Zesty Mango, which is mango, clementines, raspberries, and vanilla. Now, I would not have called this Zesty Mango at all. I would have just said this was just more like a clementines. It was so good. It was so strong. Loved the clementines in here. It was tart, tangy, a little bit sweeter, and then with the mango and the raspberries, you couldn't detect those as much, but it was beautiful. I would definitely get more of this. It was like a delicious candied dream, almost beautiful sweet clementines with a hint of the sweet tarts vibe, but not a lot. So good and strong. I'd give that one an 8. Next up, I have some Gypsy Monroe, and this is in Ferris Wheel, which is cotton candy, orange sherbet, funnel cake, and whipped cream. Over a year old, did not perform that well. Actually, it was pretty light, and I did not like the funnel cake in this. Sometimes funnel cake and me don't get along. It's kind of like with waffle cone. It just depends on the oil. If you follow my channel, you'll know, and I'll say that. So this was definitely a no. I would not repurchase that one. Okay, then I have a Clam Shell from Rustic Rose Wax. This is Chill in the Floaty, which is cherry slushy, blue raspberry, and lemonade. And this one performed a little bit better than the other one. It was still kind of lighter, but it has, I've noticed that with her wax, there's kind of the same little undertone. It's almost like, it's almost kind of limey, and just really refreshing, really invigorating. And it's just kind of always in the wax. I've kind of noticed this little citrus vibe or whatever, but it almost slushy type vibe. But this was good. This does have slushy in it, but again, the strength and throw wasn't as great, but it did perform a little bit better. I'd say maybe this one's like 3.5, 4. Then I had some shapes from Candles from the Keeping Room. This is in Lime Sorbet. Delicious. This is such a good lime. It had just a hint of a rind vibe, but just a hint, but definitely like a lime sherbet and a hint of rind. So good. I definitely would get this one again if I could get my mitts on it. Sometimes it's hard to get her wax, but yeah, loved it. The strength and throw was a little bit quieter. This is, I want to say I bought this maybe 2 years ago, so that's okay for it being just a little bit quieter, like a 5, which is still acceptable for me. Okay, and this one's kind of a different one. This is from Zesty Girl Aroma. These were little donuts. This is in Candy Carrots, which is carrots with sugary candy, and this is so interesting. There is definitely like a carrot vibe. Nothing spicy or anything like that. It is just kind of like a legit sweet carrot and a little bit of a creaminess to it. It's definitely different. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was interesting. I do have another 2-pack, I think, of this. So I will melt it again. It's just different. I did like it though. I'd have to say, yeah, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I did like it. I don't remember the strength on that one though. I'm sorry, and I didn't write it down. I'm horrible. Okay, more Sugar Melts by Stacy. This is ripe for the picking, which is cherries, blueberries, and raspberries. Oh my gosh, it's so good. So, so good. The cherries are gorgeous. The blueberries are gorgeous. It's raspberries. It's gorgeous. It is definitely a candy vibe, almost a little bit of a punch vibe. Oh, but it is so strong, so refreshing, and just beautiful fruity combo of goodness. Love it. Would definitely get more of it. I think I actually have a custom of it mixed with something else. Love it, love it, love it. Definitely strong. 8.5, 9. Okay, then I have some lovely Bath and Wax. This is Lemonade Stand, which is lemonade, mango, strawberry, and candy floss. This was good too, just kind of fruity vibes. I definitely could get kind of the citrus from the lemonade the most, and like the strawberry, and just kind of some sweetness. It was a little bit on the lighter side for me, about a 5. Okay, then we have some Blended with Love. This is Raspberry Nice Cream, which is raspberries, cheesecake, and vanilla ice cream. And it was so good. The raspberry's beautiful. I'm thinking about raspberry as well, but it was exactly how I'd want it to be. A little candy-ish, a little jamness, if you will, and some beautiful creaminess from those other scent notes. It is a year old, and it did very well. I'd say about a 5.5, 6. And then I did have a little shape in Where the Wild Things Are, and this is from Ella After. And I melted this, even though it's not in my scent story regimen, but I wanted to see if I had gotten the little customs, charm that you can get when melting these. But I really liked this. There is kind of a cologne aspect to it, but it's brighter. It's definitely more invigorating. It was really good. Lastly, this is old. I know this is like from 2 years ago. This is Kumi from Zesty Girl Aroma. This was apricot, marshmallow, whipped cream birthday, and I finished this in the beginning of June. It is actually also from May's Scent Story. but I hadn't finished it yet, so I couldn't talk about it. This was beautiful. I love the scent very much. So nice. The apricot is really, really nice. I do tend to prefer apricot over peach. Peach is good, but apricot never steers me wrong usually. And then I did get the birthday and the whipped cream in this. It was just kind of a standard apricot and bakery scent. Really, really nice. I do want to say it was a little bit on the lighter side for Sassy Girl Aroma, but it is 2 years old. It's like a 6. Okay, that's everything. And that was a lot for me. If you got this far, thank you very much. What did you melt for the month of June?